Manzar, who is the founder director of the Digital Empowerment Foundation and the chair of Manthan and M Billionth Awards in India. He is the member of advisory board at the Alliance for Affordable Internet and has also co-authored a book called Net Chakra, 15 Years of Internet in India and Internet Economy of India. Osama joins us from Delhi. Osama, welcome to LitFestx.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to see so many people are watching, if the number is correct.
Osama, you've been for many years, if I can say, an activist and a friend of the digital and internet movement in India. And both in your, social activities as well as your writings, you've been observing, researching, and talking about what's been happening with the entire digital movement in the country. Tell us a little bit about where you see the landscape currently between the digital haves-not and the digital sort of empowered people, and what is happening in terms of literacy, in terms of access to content.
I don't know this. I'm quite famous for giving a very bleak future while working in this sector. But let's first certainly celebrate that India is the second or the third highest connected people in the world. But usually what happens is that because what we read in media, what we perceive in media, what we see in the headline is always dominated by these big figures and big numbers, that India is the second largest Facebook connected country, India is the third largest internet connected country, India has so many millions, 1 billion people connected through mobile, and so on and so forth. The fact is that there is a very dark there is a darkness behind those lightning facts, and those light. For example, I'll just give you one figure. You read everywhere that India is 1 billion plus mobile connected. That means what? That means we have sold so many number of SIM cards, not that so many people are using mobile. So how many people are actually using mobile is less than 600 million actual users. People like you and me have got 3-4 mobiles, 3-4 SIMs, but in actual numbers, I'm a single user, I'm a single connected person. My household can have 10-20 connectivity, but I'm a single household connected. So actually speaking, in real term, we are more than 600 to 700 million not connected through mobile. And I'm saying mobile is because mobile is the highest level of connecting device, or there is no other device, or there is no other connectivity is higher than mobile. So let's even say mobile, then we are about 40 to 45%, almost 50% people are not connected through mobile. And as far as women are concerned, 72% women of India do not even have access to see or touch mobile. So that's a harsh figure. We may be the third internet connected country, but we are just 15 to 20% at the highest number internet connected country, in terms of percentage of our own people. That means actually we are a country with 1 billion people not connected to internet. Actually speaking, 1 billion people of India out of 3.5 billion all over the world is not connected. That means we are the poorest connected country if you really look at the percentage of population who are connected. And I can go on, and of course Facebook celebrate that India contributes more than 300 million connected people on Facebook. But those 300 million people are your neighbors, my neighbors, in Delhi, Bombay, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, not 50 kilometers away from your city or my city, or so on and so forth. And therefore, the more we see that the connecting number increasing, there is a huge gap that we are leaving behind of the unconnected people, because we are assuming that everything is happening online, and therefore our entire jargon and the way we address The issues looks like that we are only addressing to connected people. Look at Narendra Modi, the way he talks. He thinks that everybody is connected. The way he tweets, he seems that he looks like that he has already conveyed his message to everybody. The way he talks on radio, he seems that he has reached out to everybody. And it looks like and then you start practicing also like that. That okay, I have told you, I have tweeted, I have Facebooked, I have uploaded on the Facebook, but actually 80-90% of the people do not have those medium access to them. So therefore, and our decisions are really that if you're not connected, your many work is not being done. For example, now when I live in a town, I actually pay 250 rupees for a photocopy, and you pay only 75 paise and 50 paise, if at all you do. If you, I mean, first of all, you don't need to, because you are connected from so many ways. I am connected in so many ways. I don't need a photocopy to do, but they need to do a photocopy to get even a single entitlement. So, connectivity is a serious issue from two perspectives. One is that it is required. There is no future without being connected. There's no doubt about it. Having said that, it is extremely important to think that exclusion that the connectivity is creating for those who are the most needy is so serious that that exclusion is making them excluded from access to food, access to water, access to air, access to entitlement, and access to rights. And that's a serious issue. I mean, think about it.
So clearly, what you're saying is that the digital have-nots far outnumber the digital haves.
Absolutely, in quantity as well as in quality. Quantity, certainly, there's no doubt about it, and I would say in quality also. And the reason why I say quality is because the same conversation that you and me are having at the moment between Bombay and Delhi on a broadband connectivity on video, I cannot have sitting in a village, even if there is a 2G connectivity available, even if I have a mobile available to me. So there is a quantity and quality both, and it matters, and that's a double-edged sword of having connected and still not connected, mapped on telecom map and still not availing it. It's something like when you go to the airport, you have 3G showing and no data download, and then suddenly you go to village, 2G showing and no data download.
Well, I think we've all lived through some of those horrors at some point of time or the other. Now coming
Yeah,
to how digital is going to impact and is already impacting the way content is consumed. And I mean
right.
the educational content, entertainment content, whatever it is. Clearly, India is a country with multiple languages, many of which are slowly decaying into the wallpaper, if you will, because you don't have too much of media around those, too much of consumption in the youth of those languages. But we are still a very orally rich country, as we had discussed earlier.
Absolutely.
And how do you see digital playing a role in this going forward?
Yeah, so having talked about so many, exclusion-oriented figure that I gave you, the fact is that in the last 15, 20 years, we have created a whole new medium around us. If you look at the first screen, the cinema used to be the first screen. Then computer became the second screen. Then mobile is no, so it was the cinema, then the TV, and then the computer, and then the mobile. So mobile is considered to be the fourth screen, actually speaking. And mobile as a fourth screen, and also being connected to the internet and allowing people to produce content at will and at each and every opportunity, is actually a creation of a democratization of content creation, democratization of media, democratization of medium, and also democratization of language. I would say there is, I mean, if you read and write, you particularly get associated with whether you are literate in English or not, or Hindi or not, or a language or a script. But when you publish in oral, you don't even have to become literate in a particular language. You can publish in your own language. I mean, for example, you and me, let's say start talking on Bhojpuri. Let's say you know Bhojpuri, I know Bhojpuri. I don't need to learn any other medium. I just can publish. We both can publish this interview in Bhojpuri language. So having said that, digital media with a liberalized medium like internet has given a very, very serious impetus to the mass publishing medium. And in all medium and in all media, in all languages, that's a huge, huge opportunity from several ways. That gives opportunity for folk music to come online, that gives opportunity for local language to come online, that gives opportunity for dying culture and heritage to come online and get shared. So it gives a chance for survival and revival of many things that was dying, that was threatening to be dead. It's a serious opportunity for everybody to become a publisher. And of course, if everybody becomes a publisher, we create a lot of junk also. But the point is, just a publisher cannot take a responsibility of being the most qualitative publisher of the world. So if you and me can also become a qualitative publisher if we get a chance, and that is what has become. WordPress have become one of the highest publishing medium, apart within internet. So within internet itself has hundreds of medium. WhatsApp is a medium, quick. Twitter is a medium. Video is a medium. Periscope is a medium. So digital publishing in various ways and medium, and taking care of oral as an opportunity to take advantage of, has really opened up in terms of from selective publishing to mass publishing, from selective producer to mass producer, from selective viewers to the mass viewer. I mean, I can see that when you and me are talking, I can see that 1060 viewers are watching. I have not attended free of cost conference where 1000 people would be listening to me in one go, half an hour, without paying a single penny. uh, Actually speaking, I mean, of course they're paying internet cost, but the point is, even though I pay internet cost, I go and travel, I pay taxi cost, then I pay conference cost, then I have to spend in time. Here I can also take a small break and say that, hey guys, just hold on 2 minutes. I have to drink a water, or something like that, or I have to make a cup of tea and bring it onto my table. But look at this. This is mind boggling. Even the LitFest might be happening in Jaipur, may not be having 1000 people listening to one just a speaker. Can you ever imagine that 1000 people will be watching one speaker? And with the liberty of leaving the room and then coming, leaving the room and then again coming, I'm sure 1000 people may not be watching 100%, but
Sure.
their windows are open and they are watching in some way or the other. But this is the total liberalization of publishing. This is the total liberalization of content creation. This is a total liberalization of content creation at an individual level, at a community level, at a mass level, which was not possible just a few years back. And it does not ask your color, caste, creed, country, citizenship to publish. In five-star hotel, if my village wala goes, they will say, oh no, I can't give you permission to come and have a meeting here, because just dhoti kurta is not allowed. You need to be in pant shirt. I mean, there could be many social and cultural and dress code. I mean, you write dress code. In this meeting, I don't need a dress code. I am in my kurta and I'm sitting here, and I'm totally being viewed because of the quality of content that we are sharing, and it is not shared if it is not. So digital is like amazing. What Gandhi said, that always wear a cloth made by the masses rather than made for the masses. I would say now it is the time that we are watching the content made by the masses rather than just made for the masses, and then without the consideration of mass participation.
Yeah, very interesting what you mentioned right now, that content which is created by the masses. So even in television, if you remember, and I think even now there have been several experiments of citizen journalism shows, and where people are shooting certain incidents or events with their mobile phones, and sending it to various media channels. And of course, with YouTube and the internet and with Periscope and several live streaming apps, there has been a slew of efforts where people have tried to merge the physical world with the online world, in terms of real time streaming or chat, etc. The question I have for you is, do you think that these genuinely fit together? I mean, content which is meant for a live audience, especially, spoken content, you know, uh, which is
Mhm.
meant for a live audience, has certain benefits and certain nuances. So, for example, if you were sitting and you could see, 50 people even sitting in front of you, right, and making eye contact, you would be speaking things in a slightly different way, and connecting them with them in a different way, irrespective of whether it is 50 people or 5 people or 10 or 100. Whereas when you're online
That's
and you're talking to let's say an anonymous viewer, right, and and you don't know who that person is. Are they liking what you're saying? Are they agreeing with it? Are they going to disagree? Are they going to troll you afterwards? What's going to happen? So I think there are two very minor but strongly different sections in which this content then has to play. And what has been your experience when people are trying to simply just say, "Hey, I will just live stream a physical event, whether it is an event or a lecture or whatever it is."
so. I let me first agree that with medium nuances changes. There's no doubt about it. So even though this digital medium might be more inclusive, but it is also in certain ways anonymous in many ways. But it also gives chance to the people who are introvert to share something that otherwise they're very shy of, faces and the people, and and that's the reason why digital medium is much louder than the physical medium, because in physical medium you are much more aware, conscious, and more respectful, humble, because you see the faces, the expressions and everything. But that also makes other people shy away or shy off, or be milder than the others. So if a politician is speaking, people will see that he's just too aggressive to speak out in front of him. But the same politician is speaking on Twitter or on some Periscope, I would just send a nasty comment against him. Yeah, and I will not hesitate. And if you ask me to talk in front of him, I will shit bricks. Because I just don't know how to behave in front of him. But writing few words of that he was absolutely disrespectful. He was loud, and I won't mind writing that. So it's inclusive, and also nuances change. There is no doubt about it. And having said that, even on digital medium, there are several ways. Even if I'm talking to just you and I can't see all those faces, 1,000 faces coming here, but when the other day I was doing Zoom with a conference where I could see all the 300 people whom the conference was being attended by. I could see all the faces like a checker box on my screen. And everybody there is a way to show your hand, and then the green button and the
Sure.
red button. So there is a way to look at your audience also, and they can really tell you, can you please hold on? I have a question, and that is possible. So actually speaking, digital medium is also learning from the physical nuances, that what to do, what not to do. They
Yeah.
are trying to incorporate those things and making it more lively, more interactive, and trying to overcome all those barriers which was otherwise a barrier. Having said that, I still feel that this is more inclusive. Of course, it is slightly impersonal, but it has its own advantage. And as you treat the medium gradually, you also learn the etiquettes of the medium. You know, you then behave accordingly. You respect accordingly, or disrespect accordingly, or you ignore accordingly, or be anonymous accordingly. We know that. I mean, for example, to go in a chauraha, in a chai ki dukan in a local area, and it start shouting has a different meaning than start shouting on a Facebook. You know, there is a different meaning of virality on a Facebook or a social media than the virality in the physical space of some chalk or some chauraha. They both have a different meaning. I know online virality is much higher. You know, their viral goes really viral. There really goes 1 + 1 + 1 is equal to 1111. But in real life, 1 + 1 + 1 is equal to 4. You know, is actually because it's physical space that it is taking. So I would say that every medium grows with its own nuances, its own opportunity, its own shortcomings. And having said that, while digital media is going to provide a lot of opportunity to the hidden faces, to the hidden comments, to the hidden talents, to the hidden content, it is also going to create a lot of challenge and problem of what is quality content, what is not quality content, what is, it's better to have a challenge of a max rather than challenge of a minimum. In newspaper you are always limited by space. On TV you are limited by time, but on internet you are neither limited by space nor limited by time. Actually the medium of 24/7 is internet. This is the only medium which is 24/7. There is no other medium. Every other medium is perishable. Air as a medium go perishable, radio go perishable, TV go perishable, a newspaper by the evening is dead. It's not being referred. But online, whatever, both our interviews will be parked all the time ever. Anybody can see it, anybody can listen to it, and anybody can comment anytime to it. So of course there are shortcomings, there are opportunities, but it creates its own etiquettes, and that comes from the people itself. They throw the challenge.
Right. You know, so Osama, in this sort of an environment, I mean, you're a published author as well, and we are, after all, in a virtual literary festival. What do you think is, the future of the book? I mean, we've already seen huge efforts globally and even in India on ebooks and digitization, not just in the trade publishing side, but certainly in the education content side. There is a huge amount of work being done on not just digital text, but you've got animated books, you've got e-content, so on and so forth. What do you think this is going to do to the notion of an author writing a book? I mean, I'll share my perspective. I think we are soon going to be in the era of saying, well, I'm a thinker, and that's how I need to be defined. A thinker who will create content. It might be in the form of 90,000 words or a 90-minute video, which I will discuss with somebody. So that's just my perception. It's a little biased because I don't have the intellectual ability to write 90,000 words. So maybe I'm just a little biased towards it. But what is your sense from the digital angle?
Yeah, so I mean, for how many years we are, let's say book is a form of a written medium. It is one medium how we publish written. But the point is publishing or writing or transforming your thought in a physical form of medium. Book itself was at some point of time a future of publishing. People used to publish on walls. People used to publish on rocks. People used to publish on several other medium, maybe on leaf patches, on leaf, on various other ways. So on cloth, there used to be a time. So publishing actually or conveying the message with a medium. So book is just a medium of printing or publishing a thought or a narration or a text or whatever. But the point is, book has already changed. If you really look at it, book, the medium became our habit. There's no doubt about it. But that habit is gradually going to die out. And it is nothing against the book. It is the adaptation of the new medium to transform or transfer your thoughts or one thought into the other is medium dependent. So as the medium will change, the thoughts will change, and also the publishing, opportunities will change. Book has already, because of the habit, what happened? Kindle came because the Kindles thought that because we have a habit of holding something in our hand, it should look like black and white, and they created Kindle. So actually, it's a habit issue. It is not that they couldn't have published in many other ways. It's a publishing issue. We started creating PDF. Why? Because we started creating PDF because we know that we need to give a established look and feel of a page so that nobody can change it. you know so what a file into PDF means, what I don't want you to change it, you consume it the way I give it to you. It doesn't, so in terms of design, in terms of color, in terms of font, in terms of so on and so forth. So it's a medium, and digital is a medium, but digital itself, incidentally, in the last 15 years has got diverse way of publishing. Earlier, even in the book form, you have newsletter format, you have newspaper format, you have a small book format, you have a idiom and phrase format, if you have a 4 by 4 format, you have A4 format, A3 format. There are so many formats. Similarly, in digital medium, you have various format: 140 character, 240 character, digital video, small video, periscope video, all those kind of thing. So I agree with you, is that book as we knew is, if not dead, going to be over. Its life is over in physical term. And it will only survive up to the level of the habit of the carrier of this habit. And what is the age of the carrier of this habit? Let's say even the person who is born today and gets, one is that if you're a person born today in a village, you might have to deal with the paper and all that. But for how long? 10 years? So I would say books future is not more than couple of decade more, or the printing as a future medium is not. In fact, if it consists to be more than that, that means your development cycle is much slower to transform your publishing medium or a medium of instruction or consumption is still written and not written on a digital medium. So therefore, I would say, and also written medium was extremely exclusionary. It excluded everybody who couldn't have written and who couldn't have read. So I would say in the entire history of written medium, it really created a huge exclusion. Today, everybody who doesn't know how to read and write, government of India defines them as illiterate. And how sad it is. That means we are actually saying my grandfather doesn't know anything just because he couldn't read and write. Isn't it the most outrageous fact of life that my grandfather doesn't know anything, who nurtured several generations of his family and given so many opportunities to their family and everything? It's outrageous. But the oral medium and digital medium allows a person like him to be considered literate, educated, and having wisdom. And that is very, very important. That is more important for a country like India, because India's wisdom lies in its oral communication, actually speaking, and not in written. And therefore, the future of digital publishing is non-books, and therefore the future of India is in digital publishing, and therefore all the thoughts and wisdom that lies within India is also going to be contributing to decide the fate of the rest of the world.
Well, that's a lot of food for thought for all our viewers, Osama. And thank you so much for sharing your views with us. And more power to your work with the Digital Empowerment Foundation and all the social activities that you do. Power to all your work, and we hope that the digital divide that exists in India is slowly but steadily we complete that journey of giving everyone digital access and empowering the entire population. Thank you so much for joining LitFestx.
I'm sure it will be. Thank you.
Thanks.
Had a fun. Great. Thanks.